Hey everyone, so I'm going to be going over a core workout that you can do with no equipment. This first exercise is called a dead bug, and the main focus of it is to not let your lower back arc off the ground. It's very common that you'll relax as your leg goes into extension, and this will happen and your lower back will arc a bit. So really try hard to keep that core really engaged and braced, keep your ribs down, and keep your pelvis in a neutral position the entire time. Don't forget to breathe while you do this and exhale as you're bringing the leg and arm back in. So now we'll do an exercise called a quadruped plank. Your main focus doing any plank variation is keeping that back nice and level, especially that lower back. You also want to think about keeping your shoulder blades protracted, so think about pushing your body away from the ground and keeping that core nice and engaged the whole time. You want to avoid arcing your back like this, or your shoulder blades winging out. If your shoulder blades are ever winging, it means that they're not stable. Push away from the ground, level that back, try to stay in that position the whole time, and don't forget to breathe while you do this. Here's a close-up view of that protraction. You can make this dynamic as well by doing a bear crawl. This would be a great option to do as a warm-up even. And really be sure to keep your hips level while you're doing this, and avoid the hips from swaying side to side. So if that was a little easy for you, I recommend that you go into a full plank like this instead. It's a little bit harder since your lever is longer. Apply all those same fundamentals though, so keep your shoulder blade protracted, keep your hip in a posterior tilt, and try to keep your back as straight as you can. So the next exercise we'll work on is just a basic side plank. And your main focus on a side plank, just like doing a regular plank, is going to be keeping the whole body in a nice neutral straight line. Don't let your hips pike up too high or especially dip too low. Also think about pushing your hand away into the ground, which will help protract and externally rotate that shoulder. And if that's too hard, you can put that top foot onto the ground and you'll have a lot more stability. Now we'll do a lower ab exercise called a reverse crunch. And this exercise is great for progressing into a full leg raise. So the main thing I want you to focus on is when you're tucking those knees, posteriorly rotating that pelvis at the top. So you can see right when I'm bringing in, I'm really squeezing, my butt's even coming off the ground a little bit. I'm getting a lot more lower ab engagement that way. This is what I want you to avoid. You can see that I'm not tucking the pelvis, and I'm using a lot of hip flexor just to bring my thighs in and out. It's a lot more effective tucking that pelvis every single time, and then being slow on that extension going back out. And if that was a little too easy for you, go into a full leg raise instead. All the exact same fundamentals, just keeping those legs fully extended. Try to also keep your ankles in plantar flexion, so toes pointed forward the entire time, and squeeze your legs together. So we'll finish off this ab workout with an upper ab exercise. For beginner or intermediate, I'd recommend just doing this basic crunch. So exhaling on the way up, you'd be curving your upper back a little bit, really contracting those upper abs. And be sure to control on the way down. That's where you're actually going to get size through your upper abs, is stretching them and resisting. If you want an advanced version of this, you can do a V crunch, which is simply doing a crunch mixed with a leg raise. Try to be controlled on the way down and try not to arc your lower back.